done been down so long, now nigga came up, nigga reach some blood. Pack stay coming in the truck, stay being matter of fact, the beat jumping like Jordan. Spin a nigga rock if he up, like grub up, you can place an order. I done got it out the mud like a shelf, like a rock star gripping heavy love. I done been down so long, now nigga came up, nigga reach some blood. Pack stay coming in the truck, stay being matter of fact, the beat jumping like Jordan.
Yo, what's happening, man? Y'all already know what's going on, man. It's your boy Outlaw Oop, back in the building, man. Thoughtful Narcissist Podcast. Got my co-host in the building with me.
Yes, sir. It's Frederick. We in the building.
Yo, man, you know what's going down, man. We got a special guest in studio, finally. The one and only. The man, the myth, the legend. Mr. Julian Butts, man. Go ahead and goddamn say something to the motherfucking people, man.
How's it doing, people, man? Thanks for having me, guys. I'm very excited, anticipating this.
Hey,
That's
bro.
What's up, man.
We definitely appreciate you definitely being in studio with us. But
we appreciate you fucking with. Hey, man. Appreciate you joining in, fucking with the show, man.
Absolutely. We
definitely gonna get a little more deeper into you being here on the show, man.
Let's rock.
Hey, man, before we get too deep off in this thing, man, y'all know how we do, man. Thoughtful Narcissist Podcast. I need everybody to go ahead and like, follow, comment, subscribe. TTN Podcast everywhere, man. Tell your hoe to tell your hoe, tell your bro to tell his bro. And you know how we do, man. Shout out to that boy Rip G, man, that heavy metal. Go get that shit everywhere, man.
I done been down so long, now nigga came up, nigga reach some blood. Text ain't coming in the truck, stay being matter of fact, the beat jumping like Jordan. Spin a nigga rock if he up, like grub up, you can place an order. I done got it out the mud like a shelf, like a rock star gripping heavy milk. Ice my neck, my wrist, got plenty water dripping out the bill.
Hey, man, shout out to that boy Rip G, man. Y'all go get that everywhere, heavy metal. YouTube, Apple Music, Spotify, everywhere, man. Go get that shit. Shout out to that boy Rip G. But you know how we do, man. We on the fucking air. We live, man. Thoughtful Narcissist Podcast. We got Mr. Julian Butts in the building, man.
Absolutely.
Shout out to Julian, man. Go ahead and just holler at the people right quick. We had Julian.
Let them know what you're famous for.
Right, but we gonna let him go ahead and tell y'all where y'all could check out his projects, what he does, and all that good shit. So go ahead and just holler at the people right quick and give them a little refresher.
Absolutely. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, I'm Julian Butts. I am _ distinguished legacy on Instagram. I've been putting out a content project that has been well received, which is called Soundtrack to My Life, where I'm just incorporating dope conversations around classic albums, and as well as speaking with people that I admire, people that have great influence, and we're looking to make some major moves in the future. So I've been having fun doing that, and this is the best thing to do is kind of get in here and huddle up with some of my guys that I've known majority of my adolescent life as well as adulthood, to get in here and just have some dope conversation with y'all as well. So I'm looking forward to rocking out with y'all in person.
Yes, sir. So, yeah, check that out. Definitely check out Distinguished Legacy, Soundtrack to My Life. Your probably favorite album has probably already been touched on. More than likely.
Right.
More than likely.
If
and
you like music.
But I say, if it hasn't, I promise y'all it's coming. It's coming, for sure. We were actually just speaking on some cool ways that we could possibly incorporate what we do with what you guys do. So, we're gonna continue to discuss it and manifest it.
Oh, the brand is only growing.
Absolutely. And y'all's brand is very strong, especially with that slogan you just said. Tell your bro to what?
Tell your bro to tell his bro. Tell your hoe to tell a hoe.
God, boy, that's heavy right there.
Hey, man.
We got a lot. Shout out for me. That's another one. Shout out to me.
Shout out to me.
That's
another.
another.
What I'm saying? Take care of others. Take care of yourself.
Yeah, all thoughtful narcissists, man.
Okay.
Thoughtful narcissist slogans.
Those y'all gems right there.
Yeah, that's
so
my.
just in case anybody try to run off with that,
you know where you heard it at first.
there you go.
Don't run off with our
Thoughtful
shit.
Narcissist Podcast, man.
We coming for it.
Man, I'm not gonna make it through.
Yeah, we gonna make it through. It's gonna be a great show, man.
Definitely.
It's gonna be a great show,
it's
man.
definitely gonna be a classic.
So today, it's with sadness that we have to report some news that I'm sure everybody's aware of, man. A common person who we talked about on the show, somebody who we were
respected on the show.
Somebody we followed.
Feared.
Yeah,
I feared him.
Rhetoric feared him. I was more so like he was just a very interesting guy, man. And King Von was killed this past weekend in Atlanta.
Right down the street.
It's very, very tragic. I mean, it's just a very complex situation. We're gonna dive a little deeper into it
For sure.
And but I mean, it's just wild because this guy who we just talked about on the show, been talking about him for the past few months.
Since April, around April when we really started talking.
April when we started like diving deep into the Chicago, stories and the things that were going on there, and it's like we realized of this guy, King Von, who was like just had this interesting story around him, who had been through so much, who had this just like the background, and it's just wild.
And the nigga younger than us.
The nigga's younger than us, and he died. He was 26, and he you know what I mean. He lived such a crazy, wild life, man. Just even making it out of Chicago, he was alleged to have killed a few people. He was a gang member. He was heavy on the internet with his beefs.
Big following.
Had a big following. He used to beef with people, talk shit on Twitter. Like, it was just crazy. And, like, for him to make it out of that, and he was on a very big rise. Like,
it was coming. He was up next.
He was up next.
It's
like real eerie to the Pop Smoke situation. You know what I mean? Where it's like these dudes are both just on the come up, and then boom, out of nowhere, you know what I'm saying? They get killed
in cities that aren't theirs.
In cities that aren't theirs, they're out of town. You know what I mean? But the King Von situation,
he was slick Atlanta though.
Yeah, we can get into it. Like, he lived here, and
he was doing music
he
here.
was doing music here. Him and Lil Durk, they were doing their thing. They actually had some attempted murder charges that were brought up against them not too long ago. You know what I mean? Which is even more interesting. Like, and they were, I think King Von was actually on bond for those.
Yeah, he was on house arrest
charges.
for a little bit. I think the only reason he could leave was for appearances and shit like that.
Do basically work. And apparently him and NBA YoungBoy had some beef about some women that they were both interested in. And
I mean, let's slow down on that part, because I think that's very something interesting to kind of touch base in on, because he actually brought it up on his album. He has a song called Mine Too. Where he was just like, essentially like, bro, you can have that hoe. She mine too, though. Like, we sharing her. And it came through because there was a bunch of other tweets, because I believe Asian Doll, who he was doing, who's his girl, his rap girl, whatever, was doing a song with NBA YoungBoy. Von ended up doing a song with NBA YoungBoy, baby mama. Yeah. So he like, bro, he just, and in his tweets, he was just like, bro, this we doing for everybody. It's a favor for a favor right now.
It ain't nothing.
Why you tripping?
To trip about.
Mm-hmm. And there were some things like they was actually cool. I heard there was some rumors about them having music, potentially working out together and things of that nature. They were getting onto the cool end, and unfortunately, this beef, where you have to inherit a beef, because like I said, Quando Rondo was the guy who was also there. You inherit that beef because, bro, this video of Quando Rondo repping 64.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Quando Rondo, who was the guy who King Von was fighting that night. He was there. Previous videos of them together. He's dissing King Von's ops with King Von. Quando Rondo is. So it's like, damn, y'all looking like y'all cool. And then now you fucking with NBA YoungBoy. These niggas mix their little words, and now you just flip.
Now you look lame.
Right. And then your friend comes behind the car and shoots King Von several times, kills him. Tragic. You know what I mean?
And then not only just King Von died, two other people died too.
Two other people died. King Von's friends died. They were apparently shooting back at the guy who shot King Von, and the police started shooting at them. They got into a shootout with the police and died. So you had 3 people lose their life. All 3 from, King Von's friends, him and his friends, you know what I mean? So now those people have to deal with all 3 of those losses. It's just a fucked up situation.
Another shit we to touch on too is APD was, man, fuck y'all, bro, because they know exactly what they was doing. Once that report came out that it was potentially APD shot King Von, they put that man's murder right on the internet.
Video. Yeah, they released
it. They had it. I'm saying they had it put right on the internet.
They didn't want that retaliation. They didn't want people thinking, oh, we killed them. People already like the police is killing motherfuckers left and right. Now y'all kill a celebrity? Oh, hell no, we ain't having this shit. So they didn't want to, they had to put that shit out to say that was just to cover their ass. Like, no, we ain't kill this nigga. Like, don't put that shit on us.
That shit was just the crazy shit. I'm sorry.
No, you good. I guess for those people that may have a common misconception about why you said what you said about APD. what do you feel like APD should have done in that moment instead of releasing the video?
Done their due diligence. They already had an individual. You knew what was going on.
Right.
You reported.
Right.
You give it to the news. Hey, this is who killed him. We don't have to put black murder porn on the internet again.
Right.
You say, this is what we have. Here's the evidence for people who need to see it. Because there's plenty of cases and videos that we're never privy to.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? There's plenty of that shit.
Right.
And that would never get seen, never gets out. But because it's a young black man who doesn't have that sphere of influence to not allow that to happen, you just treat him like shit and just have his fucking death out there
on TV
for anybody. Now it's
public.
Yeah. Now I go on YouTube now and
you can
it's there. I'm watching this nigga die. I'm watching him lose his life.
You watching him get killed.
I'm watching the blood drench down his T-shirt and him losing his life.
Right.
Because I follow a lot of people who's prevalent in Atlanta, so he was lit in Atlanta. All the hoes fuck with him. So I follow all these. I'm seeing the night before this nigga in the club chilling.
The same night.
Yeah, same night. He chilling. He in the club.
Having fun.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, you watching him get killed.
I wake up the next day and here I'm getting a message from you in the group chat saying he dead.
Right.
I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And so, but it's just like I said, APD is just real bad for that shit. I didn't appreciate that at all. But I think there's just something very important that we have to get into with this. So,
can I say something for you?
Oh, for sure.
You take off. And just for me in general, I would say that I'm more or less just disgusted with just the acts of violence that has taken place recently. I have personally dealt with friends and family friends in the last month, 2 different people specifically. I haven't got permission to speak about it, so I won't. But they have experienced murder in their family in the form of gun violence. Y'all, please take into account before you have your aired or disrespectful comments, man. Please take into account that these people have families.
Yes.
Like you're not there to be with somebody. They have to go visit their their loved one in the morgue. You have to identify bodies. Yeah. Some people don't have insurance. Some people do have insurance. These people have to figure out how they're gonna pay to bury a loved one.
Death is expensive.
Absolutely.
And let's not even forget the fact that this is COVID. Like you can't even have a large gathering funeral
That's why I wanted to make sure
what
that
I
we
mean?
discuss that.
Like you talking about people gonna have to watch this shit on Zoom.
Right.
You can't even have that family comforting.
Right.
You know what I mean? That
Can't
gathering, that love, that come togetherness and fellowship of a normal funeral. You know what I mean? So it's just like that adds even another level of pain and shit on it. Like I can't even give my loved one a proper
send
off. Know what I'm saying, goodbye with everyone here to comfort each other because of COVID.
Yeah. So that's definitely important. But what were you gonna say?
No, just another thing that I think is honestly it's the low hanging fruit within the conversation, but unfortunately, due to a lot of things, I feel like we just don't have it, and it's the fact that, let's be honest, the man's music was of violence. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? There was no advocating of anything of such. The most thing that he would do would talk about a dead 15-year-old kid, Tuka. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That was in all of his songs.
That was his like kind of claim to fame. Like
that was what he took upon. He saw the blueprint when he got out of jail, and he just ran with it. Yeah. He saw, okay, we dissing ops, we doing this. My cousin is Little Dirk, who got a bigger proportion during that time when he was in jail. I'm good. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to make the same kind of music he making, or that I'm comfortable making. But at the same time, like again, I'm not the energy guy. I always say that on the show. I'm not the energy guy. But
he's an atheist. He doesn't believe in energy.
Yeah, but so I don't believe that you bring energy to you. But when you're being a tough guy, you do have somewhat of a responsibility to your own personality, your own persona, to act as such. You know what I'm saying? Because this could have all been avoided. You know what I'm saying? This didn't have to turn into a physical fight in no capacity. No. Anybody could have walked away on both sides. But because we have that machismo, because when I'm a rapper, I can't take a L. Now,
you end up taking the permanent
now you take that, the
biggest.
And I think it's just something to discuss. Are we as the consumer? Because I can't get mad at a nigga for selling dope, but you don't have to buy dope. You know what I'm saying?
Unless you're using it.
So I feel, are we culpable or responsible as consumers? Because I know I'm part of those multi-million-dollar views that he's gotten talking about killing niggas. And I know when he got those views and he got that check for those views, you know what he did? I'll make another song about it. Because if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So am I part of that because I am a consumer of it, because I invested time in watching these videos and learning about his history and what was going on and what made him the interesting figure that he was? Am I culpable to that? I believe I partly am. And I will face that. I do think that I'm partly to do with that, because if I'm not promoting that, and along with the thousands of other people, and I'm one of the people who I'm living in this life, and I don't even that's some
You
far
don't do
removed
that.
from. You know what I'm saying?
That's
But
why
that's
you're
entertainment to me.
entertaining.
It's entertainment
That's
to me.
why you're
So,
entertained.
and that's why it gets.
Because you're like, damn, this isn't my life, but I see somebody living this life.
But it's like a movie.
It's like a movie.
I love watch.
But
I watch
this
Scarface.
shit is real. Like, if you look into, and that's some even lower hanging fruit about this situation is like, when we look at, damn, are we partly responsible? It's like, damn, how do you even take that he's died? Because I mean, this is somebody who we know wasn't necessarily a good person. Maybe now in his latter years with the money and the
cleaning
fame,
up,
he became a better person.
You could definitely see he was calming down.
More positive things. But this is someone who we know as a 10, 12, 13, 14-year-old was a menace and allegedly killed several people. 3 at least. You know what I mean? Had murder charges that he beat. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody who we know.
And that beat because there wasn't evidence to show he was innocent. It's because there was not enough evidence to show he was guilty.
Right. He was never found innocent. He just couldn't be accurately prosecuted. So it's like, damn, as a person who we heard, like you say, this dead people, this is dead
14, 15-year-old dead people.
Yeah, like from people who died 10, 5, 6 years ago, you still talking about them, still dissing them, still making a mockery of them. You're still carrying on, like you say, this persona, like you've done things in the past where we know that this is not just an act. And it's like, damn, for this to happen to you, like, is it okay to feel bad? Is it okay to be like, damn, that's fucked up? Like, because you got other people who are family members of the people that he constantly made fun of. And you got to remember, like, this nigga is from Chicago. This shit that happened where he killed these people or people died was in Chicago. But now this guy is mainstream. He is all over the nation. So you got people in Washington State, in Seattle, talking about they smoking Tuka or talking shit about this motherfucker, and they don't even know what the fuck this shit is going on. Right. So this is a national thing. Like a motherfucker who could have been his cousin could be on TikTok, and a random motherfucker from fucking China talking about, smoking Tuka, like they looking like, what the fuck? Like, can you understand the angst and the anger that would, you know what I mean, for somebody who's that high profile, able to bring that power of disrespect to some loved
millions
one
of
yours.
views, millions.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. But let me just want to kind of get a little tweet. I'm gonna have some tweets that I saw that was kind of talking about this, and I just kind of want to get y'all feelings about it. So I got Manifest Wallace. Hip hop culture needs to understand that all energy circles back. So when you support and glorify violence and drugs, the same energy comes back and takes the artists that we put on a pedestal for glorifying that shit. King Von was a killer in real life. What y'all expect?
He was a killer in real life.
Got another lady right here, San Diego Dangerous. We put these rappers on a pedestal for their lifestyles, and when these warriors live and die by the sword, people want to cry black on black crime, or the industry plotted. Now they chose that life. He always called himself a killer and got an honorable death. I see a warrior, R.I.P. And then last two I saw here, King Von was an admitted killer, and y'all mourning and acting like this is a tragedy. Y'all need help. And the last one here, this is from 7 Boy. King Von said, free a kid killer and dissed a dead 15-year-old. He didn't know every chance he got. Honestly, y'all can say that shit and pray for his mom.
That's what I'm saying.
Well,
You feel me?
What I'm learning, and y'all know this, I'm very new to the whole social media space, trying to figure it out, man. Social media is like another planet.
It is.
It still does not, none of this stuff justifies life being lost. I'm sorry.
For sure.
I mean, I can't get, it's great. It's a great, interpretation of one's perspective. However, we as human beings can't allow, like you said, murder porn and things like that to allow us to lose perspective. You know what I mean? Like, you can do everything in the world. Does that still deserve? I mean, you know what I mean. I can't justify somebody else's. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Even if you do, it's almost like, you know what I mean. It is what it is. Something that happened, but you move past it. But you know what I mean.
But it's still fucked up, and it's
Yeah,
still
bro.
wrong. You
Yeah,
know what I'm
bro.
saying? Because this man was a father.
Right.
He had kids.
Right.
He had grandkids. I
Right.
mean, he had aunts and nieces and nephews
Right.
and uncles, and he had
Friends.
family that he was making a way for,
Right.
like people that could not have gotten out of certain circumstances but
Right.
made it out
Right.
are living better because of him.
Right.
You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, this was somebody who was a man who was taking care of people,
Right.
and those people needed him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? For him to not be here anymore, it's sad.
It
It's
is.
definitely sad. I mean, I hate to see that it happen,
Right.
but like it's just so crazy because you hear people say things like, "Look at what type of person he was.
Right.
What do you expect?" And don't feel sorry for him, but it's like, how do you not? You know
Right,
what I'm
right,
saying?
right,
How
right.
do you not?
Right.
Because when you even look at it tenfold, it's like, wow, this was somebody who had a talent
Right.
that
He was good at what he
that
did.
was he was
Absolutely.
blessed with. You know what I'm saying? That a
Right.
lot of people don't have.
Right.
And he had that talent regardless of whether he was a killer or whatever. So
Right.
it's like, damn, even him being a 14-year-old who's committing murders,
Right.
when you could have been focusing on this talent that
Right.
you found late in your life to get you where it got you over the past 2-3 years. Imagine where this could have gotten you if you would have focused on that from being a 14-year-old.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Given the circumstances, I mean, you already even made it out of that environment.
Talk about it.
And what could you have done making it out of that environment if you focused on that skill that you already really?
I mean, he
realized
showed
you
what he
was
could
blessed
do.
with. Right, but imagine
we
what
did
you
it
could have
more
done
time,
from
yeah.
14.
But,
You know
but
what I
honestly,
mean?
though, to be honest, though, we already know none of that Chicago shit pops off if it's not for Sosa.
Right.
I mean, yeah.
If Sosa don't do what he did, and Von was in jail when Sosa started taking off. So if Sosa don't do what he did, the don't like and all that shit pop off, these niggas just doing the same shit. So I mean, but he
and all them niggas
when
was-
he that's what I say. You got to respect the nigga for when he did get out, he got right.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He could have still been on the street shit.
He
No, he
was
got
on
right.
the street shit.
Well, I'm
'Cause
saying he
he
still
came
got
down
right.
here and they damn near killed the nigga at the varsity in
Right.
Atlanta.
Yeah,
Him
no,
and
no,
Lil
I
Durk.
remember that.
You know what
I
I
remember
mean?
that.
So they was still on the street
I
shit,
remember
but
that.
he did. You know what I mean? Home in and tap into something that he was blessed with. And I mean, at the end of the day, it's really just a tragedy, man. It's
Definitely.
sad. Like, it's sad that any of these guys that have to die. Period.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's sad that I mean I just had my cousin over here from Chicago who's from the same area. Like, you know what I mean? He's telling me like, yeah, man, it's good to come up here around this time because it ain't fucked up right now. Like, I can come in the summertime, you hearing gunshots all day. Like, my cousin that was just over here sitting right here on this couch, like, that shit is crazy. You know what I mean? It's like, niggas just got to do better, man. We got to do better. Y'all,
Right.
Quando Rondo, King Von, y'all are celebrities. Y'all people who, regardless of whether you rapping about this shit and blah, 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 like, you got to...
I want to touch on something you said because is it a do better or is this the culture?
This you got to do better. If this is
I'm
the
saying
culture, the culture has to be better.
I'm saying,
you
well,
can change the culture. Like you don't have to.
You can't say do better,
Especially-
and that's the culture. That's like saying,
especially
like,
with
if you're a
people-
basketball player and you can't get a jump shot, and somebody saying do better by making layups. It's like, no, well, you got to shoot jumpers.
You gotta work on your
You know,
game.
yeah, so we can't. But that ain't my culture.
I mean,
you know what I'm saying?
right.
You know,
But
so
you can change your culture though. This
that-
don't have
okay,
to
that's
be
a
the
different.
culture.
That's a different question though.
You know, this don't have to be the
hold on.
culture. That's what I mean by do
Wait.
better. Whether it's changing the culture, whatever it takes for us to be better as far as like, bro, y'all are celebrities. Y'all are people with stature and standard and y'all have money. Y'all have influence. Like, if y'all see each other in the club, y'all disagree, all right, like, it does, like you said, it doesn't have to come to somebody shooting somebody. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy because it's like now it's automatically shooting. Like, what happened to the day you just fight? Is you can disagree. Even if you do want to feel like you want to physically, y'all fight, hands, beat a nigga up, it's over.
Right,
you know what
right,
I'm saying?
right,
We adults, so it shouldn't even come to that. But if y'all do, like, it don't have to be shooting each other
Yeah.
and killing. Like, that shit just takes it to a whole, like, you know what I mean? Like, why would you even want to take it that far?
But
You
it's
know
in
what
the
I'm saying?
music.
It's not only is it not only is it in the music, but it's also, unfortunately, it is money tied to death.
Yeah.
As far as these record labels are concerned.
Yeah.
And they don't make enough of an incentive to try to, you know, get in the way or, you know what I mean, to
Yeah.
stop some of these, because these are their investments, right?
And
Right.
but this investment, the sad thing is
In death, no,
That make
I mean,
them more money.
absolutely.
post mortem.
Yes, and I mean automatically, but also to go back to the original idea of this conversation, which makes y'all platform so dope. And I'm sure his family would appreciate just the balance that y'all offered just then in conversation, right? Talking about the bad or talking about things that may be perceived as negative, also speaking about things that may be perceived as positive, in which in turn what y'all did was, which I have not seen any platform do, is humanize the person. Right. You know what I mean? Like, he still is a human.
Right.
You know what I mean?
At the end of the day, this is a
right,
person.
Right. So like, y'all just did something right now that, even news stations and or, quote unquote well-known platforms hasn't done. So I definitely want to tip my hat off to both of y'all for that, because that's not easy. It's very easy to come in here and pick a side.
It
you know
is.
what I mean?
But but just from us being some people who
we
invested into this,
right.
this persona, this character, this person, this human. You know what I'm saying? Because like you said, it was levels to it. It's like, damn, okay, I've delved into the character of King Von, but then I knew the person like Davon Bennett, as in him growing up before he was like that, like looking at his stories and hearing him speak and him talk about shit. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy because it's like the day he died, that same morning, which was really not that morning, which was the day prior, I had just watched the thing that he had with
DJ Act?
Nah, Karen Civil.
Oh, okay.
Karen Civil just did like a little fucking documentary,
The
10,
little
15 minutes.
Welcome
Welcome to my hood. And he was on there.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I literally watched that the day he died. Like the morning, like, you know what I'm saying? The day before he died.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm watching this shit that Friday night.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And that Saturday, 3 a.m, he gets shot. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
Like, it's like, that just speaks on the rise of this nigga.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he was an up and coming, like an interesting person.
Yeah.
Like
Mm-hmm.
the motherfucker, when he spoke, it was like you could tell he was from the hood. You could tell he, you know what I'm saying, had been through some things, but you could also just feel his perspective on it. You know what I'm saying? You could feel like what he was saying. He really felt like a genuine person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Very rare that you get that from an artist.
you saw him like literally, like my cousin was just telling me, bro, this nigga go from the airport straight to O Block in the hood, handing out money, giving niggas 10,000, giving niggas this, giving niggas that, helping people pay their bills and shit who's short on whatever.
And he talked about that in the DJ Act interview.
He talked about
and that's
that.
the craziest thing. If you watch DJ Academics' page,
It's like
he has the interview that he did with King Von, and then the next post he has is him
He's
reporting his
shot.
death.
He's shot, and then the next thing is he's died. And on that interview, it was so odd because you could tell Academics was trying to like kind of speak. Academics like, man, you need to go get baptized, bro. And the nigga like, man, they gonna drown me in that water. Like, this is what King Von's saying. You know what I'm saying? We just spoke on like the type of person he was. But I mean, when you grow up in that life and you see the shit you see and you make it out and you like, I don't understand. I mean, I don't know how he felt. You know what I mean? I don't know what he thought it could have been attributed to, whether he felt like it was God, him, luck, whatever. You know what I mean? But it is very sad that life that he perpetuated and, you know, the things that he lived by and what he rapped about and just how his life ended. I mean, the irony and the shock is the surrealness of
crazy.
it is amazing.
So, last thing I want to touch on, Basin, is this might be the most controversial aspect of it, but I feel as though that gentleman maybe have grounds for self-defense. And this is just saying us this. This is the reason why I'm saying is this. One reason is I saw APD shoot a man in the back and nobody went to jail. Okay? So if you can, as a police officer, shoot somebody running away into jail, this man was pulverizing his partner. And at the end of the day, you got to look at it like this. Quando Rondo, to him, that's how he feeding his family. So you right here pushing the nigga that feed my family head into the concrete. I have to stop this. I have to defend you. And that's what he did. Now, I see a lot of people getting upset saying, oh, you know, what he did was pussy. Yeah, it was pussy, 100%. But at the same time, it's still self-defense. So, I mean, I don't know how y'all felt about it. I feel as though...
What's your take?
I looked into it. Of course, I saw a few videos. Actually, DJ Academics did a video about it. I heard a couple other people speaking on it. I looked into the Georgia law. I don't think that he's going to be able to prove self-defense because no one else, from as far as what I know, no one else out there brandished a gun.
What the police say? I felt he had one.
But
You
no,
got to look at it like this.
I mean, yeah, I feel you, but number one, this is not a police officer. So we have to also remember that he doesn't get the benefit of
the doubt.
the doubt of being an armed law enforcement person who is here to protect and serve. You're not here to protect and serve. You're here as a civilian. You're supposed to be out here enjoying yourself, having a good time. You know what I'm saying? Now, your friend was getting beat up, but no one else had a weapon. There wasn't a group of people beating up your friend. It was a one person beating up your friend. You weren't being attacked. You weren't there alone. There were other people with y'all.
Question.
There was other people with them. So they said, like, basically how I was looking at it and how other people were explaining it based off the letter of the law, he could have felt threatened, but the force that he took didn't match the force that was already being used. And if you cannot, based off, I guess you cannot use a
higher force,
an unmatched bodily force in the self-defense claim unless this person is physically harming you. You know what I mean?
What I'll say is this, and I'll go back to my question. What I'll say is this. Easily he can say, I felt like he was reaching for a gun. That's all he has to say.
But he did not have a gun.
It doesn't matter. I felt like he was reaching for it. If you're reaching for it, that means that's enough to match the force.
The arguments that police officers have don't work for civilians.
I would disagree in some states because you do have stand your ground and so in Georgia.
Georgia has stand your ground.
Yes, it's going to get a little iffy because there is some standing ground in there.
Georgia has
just like this. Here's my question. If you see a woman getting assaulted and a man's on top of her and you have a gun and you shoot him, is that not self-defense?
If you're not being attacked, if that
no, you're seeing a woman be a third party
with you.
It's a third party.
No,
it doesn't have to be with you. You see a third because the law says third party. So you can defend a third party.
You can. But what would have to happen was he would have to go over and like he can't just see a man on top of a woman and just start shooting and say it's self-defense because we don't know what could happen. That lady could have attacked that man first, and you know what I'm saying. So it would definitely every part of the law is contextual. You know what I'm saying? So if that man went over and said, hey, what's going on here? And she's, help me, he's attacking me. And then he shoots this man. Now you could say, he was self-defense, but he can't just walk up and say.
Well, what I'm saying is just like when the nigga saw the nigga Brock from over West Coast, he said he seen her on top of the girl assaulting the girl, and he went over there and did something about it. I mean, I could say, if I'm not no lawyer, but I can make a good argument for, well, I don't know what's going on. I see that he's assaulting her. I don't know what he has on him. And this is the only thing I can do to protect myself. This is King Von. I listen to his music. He talks about blasting niggas. I don't care that he has a charge that he can't carry a gun around.
He could say that.
So, I mean, but the argument could be made.
The argument is definitely going to be made.
Yeah.
But
this ain't no Nipsey situation. This ain't no X situation.
The argument is going to be made.
This is a discussion.
But when it comes down to the letter of the law, he's going to have to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that he was in fear for his life. And if they can't prove that, if you can't convince a jury, and based off that footage, it doesn't look like he was in fear at all. It looks like he just saw his friend fighting, and immediately you didn't try to stop anything. You didn't try to, you know what I'm saying? There are going to be witnesses there who can partake on and testify on what was said, but I don't see him getting off I don't see him getting off on self-defense for what he did because his actions didn't look like anything other than just I see some people fighting and I'm shooting. It looked reckless. One, because you're shooting into a crowd of people. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
And you didn't try to. It doesn't look like you tried to do anything else. You didn't try to see what the fuck was happening. You immediately pulled out your gun, start shooting into a crowd of people. That's just reckless.
That is
reckless. Doesn't seem like self-defense. You could have shot your friend. You know what I mean? Easily. The person who you saying you trying to protect, you could have easily shot them. So, like, I don't see, and then without anyone else, you know, pulling out any weapons prior, you know what I'm saying? I don't see that happening. Especially, and the police are right behind y'all. It's a well lit up, flashing police car right behind the shooter. So, self-defense, nigga, the police is right behind you. You know what I'm saying? There's a fight. The fight would have gotten broken up by those same police officers if that guy did not have pulled that gun out and started shooting. When he pulled that gun out and started shooting King Von, that's when all the guns came out and people started shooting, including the police officers. So this guy really just initiated 3 people getting killed with reckless conduct.
Right.
Motherfucker probably not even legally able to even carry a weapon. Right. You know what I'm saying? We have to look further into that.
And that was crazy how fast the internet found him.
I mean, the video came out.
I mean, we had the video, but
once
then
the
like
video came out,
just,
everybody's already looking at, oh, it was Quando Rondo. Let's go on his page. Oh shit, he was with this nigga. That's the nigga shooting. It's common sense.
Yeah, he had the hoodie on and everything.
It's very easy.
Them niggas went from Savannah to Atlanta that same day, and then
it's not hard. It's not hard to
niggas change your clothes, musty motherfuckers. This nigga was dancing in a music video and then fucking went to Atlanta in the same outfit.
Yeah, it's not hard to they kind of put that together. Right. You know what I mean? Right. But it's sad all the way around, man.
R.I.P. King Von.
R.I.P. to King Von, man. We not picking no sides. R.I.P. to FBG.
Pray to everybody involved.
R.I.P. to all the people who have lost their life to the Chicago gang violence. Yes, you know what I mean? Sorry it had to happen here. Sorry it had to happen to him. Sorry it had to happen now. You know what I mean? It's fucked up. Prayers up for his family and everybody else. It's just sad, man. And it was definitely interesting, man. We love talking about King Von on the show, listening to the music, man. It's sad that we're not going to be able to do that anymore. It's fucked up, you know, man, from senseless.
Because he was going to get the Drake feature.
Acts. I mean, yeah, Drake even posted him like, damn, you know what I mean? It's just sad. It's just sad. But hey, man, we got to do better out here. Like I said, man, people start just looking out and stop letting the petty shit go so far to where it ends up taking people's lives away, because it's never worth it, man. It's never worth it.
Right.
Also, man, R.I.P. to Alex Trebek, man, the host of Jeopardy. Definitely a staple of my childhood. I remember watching Jeopardy a lot growing up. You know, it came on basic cable, and
that's how you learn a lot right there.
Channels we had, you know what I'm saying, and it was a lot to watch, and it was great, interesting. Definitely how you learned a lot. They asked great questions. Alex always did a great job hosting it, man. He was a staple of the show. I don't know how they gonna, continue.
I thought they already turned it off. I thought they already they ended Jeopardy.
Ended Jeopardy. Okay,
before he passed.
Over. That's good, man.
So he got to see the end of that one. That was, like I said, man.
R.I.P. to Alex.
For real.
R.I.P. to all the people we lost. 2020's been a crazy year, man. Absolutely. We just need to get out of here safe and hold it down. You know what I mean? That's really all we can do. But hey, man, we appreciate everybody tuning in, man. Appreciate everybody fucking with us. Thoughtful Narcissist Podcast, man. Y'all know what it is. Tune in tomorrow for another great show.
We're going to talk about Sleepy.
Sleepy, Creepy Joe. Hide your kids. Take care of yourself, man. Take care of others. 7 years left. Take care of the earth. Thoughtful Narcissist Podcast. We out.
Out of school, fuck school, cause the streets taught me out my list. I don't talk kids in the money. I believe a fuck nigga kiss. I'm front like a Jansen. Smith and Wesson for these niggas who test. Just take up the money, my number one interest.